Label Radio.
Ice-T. That was 1988. This is White Label Radio, classic hip hop from the 80s, 90s, early 2000s. And we got the legend in the building. Arabian Prince.
Hey, what's up with you?
Brother Arab.
Old ass man in the house.
I mean, we play old ass music, so I guess it goes hand in hand, right?
There you go.
How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I like this little spot here, man.
Thank you, sir.
That Uncle Jam's Army poster. I remember that.
Classic, right?
Classic.
Yeah, we had Chris the Glove in here.
Okay, my boy.
He did a DJ set.
Nice.
And then I sat down with Egypt before as well too.
Yep.
I'm just a fan of the classic hip hop. I grew up in Hawthorne. Used to go to Rodeo and Swap Meet to buy my music or whatever. So I was just one of those kids that listened to mixed shows and whatnot. So I interview guys from the fan perspective.
There you go. I love it.
So let's get right into it, man. Compton, and how did you guys form NWA?
Man, so the story that I tell on it is it was a case of me and Dre talking about, man, we need to make some more money. You know, that's what it was, because we was doing all on the West Coast doing the electro funk thing.
Yes.
And, you know, producing records for other cats, and, you know, they were making like the bulk of the money, not us. You know, like we were producing and doing the beats and doing the stuff, but we was getting paid. We was getting cash in our pocket, but we really never did see like royalties. You know what I mean? Like writers or producer royalties and stuff like that. And I remember one day we was on our way to the beach, because we always would go to Venice Beach and hang out, and it was like, man, you got to do something. And he said, man, I met this dude named Eazy-E. You know, he the neighborhood pharmaceutical technician. and he got a little bit of, you know, money that he want to spend. And, you know, we could do the music. He could put the money in to put some stuff out. Let's sit down and talk about it. And that's kind of like the beginning of it. And then, you know, Yella was with Dre from the Wrecking Crew. Cube lived down the street from Dre. Ren lived down the street from Easy. Yeah. And everybody was kind of like this, created Voltron, and boom, NWA.
Nice. Let's I didn't know you produced Supersonic.
Yeah. That's crazy. That was a crazy one, because I used to date one of the girls in the group.
I heard the story. Let's get into the song real fast.
Okay, cool.
And then we're gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna ask you a few more questions, you know, that I've been wanting to ask for 30 years.
Hey, all I say, man, if you got a question, I will answer it.
There we go, man. So let's get into it. JJ Fast, Supersonic, White Label Radio. Come on, y'all. JJ Fast, Supersonic, produced by the brother in the building, Arabian Prince.
That's it.
So tell the story. So that was the second version of the song, correct?
Right.
So the original had 5 members on it?
Yeah, 5 girls. JJ Fad actually stands for Juana, Juanita, Fatima, Annie, and Dania. That's what JJ Fad stands for. And
this was record, or them performing or doing music, was the result of some pillow talking?
Yeah, kind of, sort of. So I used to date Juana from the group back in the day, and Dre used to mess with one of the girls named Annie. And we used to hang out with her. We would drive. They lived out in Rialto.
Oh,
so
wow.
we used to drive to Rialto, man, from the hood, and it was like a 45-minute-hour drive. And I remember Dre didn't have, well, at the time, we didn't have no money. So he had like a RX-7 with no back window. So we'd be freezing our ass off driving out there. But yeah, we went out there. They would always bug us to come in the studio and mess around. And like, we want to make a record. And I'm like, I don't know. Dre was like, man, y'all whack. I can't mess with y'all, you know, because, no. So one day, I just happened to be in the studio finishing a Professor X record, because I'm also known as Professor X, all the electro funk stuff. And I finished my song, and I had about 4 hours of studio time left. And they were like, let's mess around. So we came up with this song called Another Hoe Bites the Dust.
And that was going at Shantae, right?
Yeah, it was going at Shantae, Real Roxanne, all of them, right? Sparky D.
Why? Just because they were the top females out there and they wanted to go at them?
And I was like, whoa, that's cool, but y'all really can't rap like that. And they about to like come at y'all like fierce.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? We got a little more time left. Let me do this beat, because I'm good at these fast party beats.
Yeah.
Let me do this beat. Boom, Supersonic. I'm going to do it real fast. They wrote something. We put that thing together, put it out on Dream Team Records. Side A was Another Hoe Bites the Dust. Side B was Supersonic. Radio got it. They played Another Hole for a minute, and then they started whipping Supersonic, and it blew up.
Did Shantae and those girls ever get at them about Another Hole by
Not big like that. They were,
okay.
Because I don't even know if the record even hit on the East Coast that big.
Okay.
Because we went back and repressed it without that and just made it Supersonic as a single, like by itself, and it blew up.
And so that was the second version, but were the lyrics the same as the first version?
Yeah, lyrics were the same. The only difference was instead of saying, Juana, Juanita, Fatina, Annie, and Denia, it said just jamming, fresh and deaf. That's what they said it meant on the second version.
And did they write their own rhymes?
Yeah. Yeah, they wrote their own rhymes.
And when they did the Sama Lama Lama Lama, what were you thinking when they did that?
So that came from, they used to do the whole jump rope thing. That was that double dutch stuff.
Yeah,
that's where that came from.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, that's dope, put that in there.
That actually makes sense now, because I remember when we was younger, they did double dutch and the girls had a little chant or whatever.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's where that came from, and that's what everybody remembers.
And it was on Dream Team Records,
Yep.
and then eventually that was the flagship song that sparked the whole Ruthless record movement, correct?
Yeah, because I took it back from Rudy. Rest in peace, Rudy Pardee from the LA Dream Team. We had some disagreements on the money flow on that single because it was selling tons of records, and the money wasn't flowing where it was supposed to be flowing. So I took it back. We had just started Ruthless Records. It was like, this is a family organization. Me, Dre, Yella, Easy, Ren, Cube. Let me bring this record that's making money back into the camp.
Yeah.
And let's do it here. Let's share in this money. Even though it was my record, let's just share in it to kind of jumpstart what we need to do with NWA and all of that kind of stuff. So I brought it over. We re-recorded it. I put Dre's and Yella's name on it as
Why
production.
would you do that? Why didn't you, I mean, after you realized that Rudy Pardee wasn't paying you fairly, why would you not put out yourself?
Family, man. We we boys, we family. We started this thing together, and I'm that dude. I'm never going to change from that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to give everybody that benefit of the doubt, and we did it, and it was cool for a while until, a certain individual got involved in our label and things changed.
Why didn't JJ Fad ever take off after that?
I left. I left NWA because of Jerry Heller. And then the rest of the album was produced in-house. I didn't do any more beats on that first album.
Yeah.
They called me back on the second album. But by then, everything had changed. Like, it was just a different vibe, a different feel. Me and Yella did it with some other producers. It was like a bunch of different people doing that second album. So it didn't have that same feel or that same sound that I brought
and
to the original
they needed
one.
that sound. For them. That was their sound.
Saying. That was the sound. I was like, y'all should have just done a whole album full of supersonic beats.
Yeah.
But they, honestly, they wanted to be more respected as rappers, like female rappers, because a lot of the beats was rapping beats. So, yeah.
At the very beginning, when Ruthless started, was Ruthless Records started based on you guys as NWA, or was it like, we're gonna start the record label and then you guys became NWA from that?
Nah, it was just a bunch of dudes sitting. I remember when the name was, we came up with the name, it was at my mom's house, and we just came up with this name, let's go make some music. And we literally just went into the garage and started making music.
So you guys came up with Niggas with Attitudes.
Yeah.
So now, Jinx was on the show not too long ago, and he said Niggas with Attitude was a collective. It wasn't really the six of y'all. Yeah. It was a collective of MCs in Compton or whatever, and that's what Niggas with Attitude was originally.
He said we were on a panel together on Sunday.
Okay.
When he was there. I hadn't seen Jinx in a minute. He said that there too. And maybe. I'm not saying that he's wrong or right. It's so long ago.
Yeah.
I just remember it was just the dudes that I knew. It was like the six people you saw. That's who I hung out with on that picture when everybody was in the alley on the first NWA record. And I tell everybody this too. The first NWA joint was just called NWA. The NWA and a Posse
was
that was a
later.
bootleg.
Oh yeah, he said the same thing too.
Yeah, when we left Macola to go to Priority,
they put it out and
they
put the
it out
Posse
and
on
put
it.
Like dudes we ain't never know on there.
Yeah.
So
during that time, at the very beginning, Feel It Fresh Crew was on that album. Did Macola put them on there, or was that part of your?
See, Feel It Fresh Crew was never part of us. I think Feel It Fresh Crew was out of Texas.
Texas,
that's where
DLC
came from.
Yes.
But he put that on after.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then DLC was around you guys. He was part of the clique after the fact.
From what I understand, Easy met DLC, or they met DLC down in Texas or something like that. So
okay.
it wasn't even because of that, you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So originally, NWA, you guys formed this group. It's 6 of you guys.
Yep.
You guys started making music together.
Mm-hmm.
And then you guys actually did album covers. You were on the original album cover.
Yeah, Straight Outta Compton. I'm on both of them, yeah.
Yeah, why? What happened? Why'd you leave?
Jerry Heller. You know what I mean? Like,
Let's be specific. What happened?
Jerry Heller. No, so you got to understand, like, if you look at the makeup of the group, it was almost kind of like a mini super group, because, you know, I'm Arabian Prince. I had 5 or 6 singles out before that.
Yeah.
I was in Bobby Jimmy and the Critters, producing all of that stuff.
Yeah.
I produced Supersonic. So
you had your own situation.
Right, and I had even messed with Dream Team and some other groups. I did JB Beat, Freak City. So I was producing all over the place. Dre was with the Wrecking Crew. They was hot, you know.
Yeah.
Dre and Yella. And then Cube with CIA. He had records. So when we came together, people kind of knew who we were.
You had your own little movements and you put together and make one big one.
Easy was just this cool little dude, and Ren just had that voice. So when we came together, that was cool. But what happened when Jerry Heller got involved, Easy met Jerry Heller at McCullough Records. Jerry was like an old school manager who managed rock bands and other stuff. And I think Lonzo had messed with Jerry first. And then Easy met him. And Jerry probably knew Easy didn't know nothing about the business. And so, I'll take care of all of this. You just go be you. And if anybody knew Eazy-E, I never faulted him for anything, because Easy was just in the streets. Easy was about his money and about women and in the streets. That's all Easy was. He really wasn't that business dude. And Jerry took advantage of that, man, and the money flow changed, because we originally owned Ruthless Records as a group. Everybody had a percentage. You know, we would go get records from the record company. Here's your box. Here's your box. Here's your box. Go sell it. Whatever money you make, that's your money.
But did you have anything on paper that said that?
Nah, we was homies.
Okay.
You know, and that, because looking back, nobody knew about contracts in the 80s.
Because it was so new and so
It was homies. We just went in
having
and
some
did
fun
it.
and doing.
You do beads, you do that. Everybody had their part, did their thing, and then everybody got paid.
But it's always somebody in the cut.
Hey, always. And you know, Jerry came in and screwed that up. And the only reason I knew what was up, I was the only one in the group who was a solo artist first. Yeah. And I had my own deal. So I knew what royalties were. I knew how that flowed. I'm like, okay, you put a record out, and about 3-4 months later, you get a statement. You look at, I sold this many records, and you get a check. That didn't happen. That never happened. And I'm like, this NWA thing had to have sold 1 million copies. Like, where's the money? Yeah. And it was all about, we're going to give you money. You know, we're going to get you a car. We're going to get you a house. I'm like, where the money?
It's funny. During our interview with Jerry, I asked about you. And he said, well, one day he was there. One day he was gone. Like that. That's pretty much what he said. And I said, well, why did he leave? But I don't know. He just left.
He ain't saying nothing about that meeting I had with me, him, and my attorney.
He definitely didn't say that. So you actually sat down with your attorney and him. So did you ever because of course you were on the record, so they had to.
I get paid.
You got paid?
To this day, I still get paid. And it was one of those things where I went in, I was like, dude, man, I'm gonna take this Supersonic record and go bye-bye. Because I ain't getting paid. No, we gonna work it out.
So do you get paid for the Supersonic record?
Yeah, I get paid for everything.
That's
Supersonic, Fergalicious, Rap Guide, McDonald's commercials, everything. So, you got to just take care of your business. So that's what I do now. I mean, I tell kids, like, this is the record business.
So what did the group say when you left?
Nothing. They were just like, okay. I was trying to tell them. Like,
they didn't say, because you mentioned at the very beginning when you brought Supersonic, you mentioned family, you mentioned homie. Yeah. These my homies. Yeah. So right now, this is my homie Nympho right here. Right. If he doesn't show up to work one day, I'm like, yo, where? I'm gonna call him up. Yo, why'd you leave? What's going on? Can I make this right?
Yeah, fame changed people, man. People get, when things start happening, people start waving little candy in front of your face here and there,
They move past you and forget about you.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm still friends with everybody. I ain't never had no wrongdoing dealings with anybody, Dre, Cube, anybody.
How can you be friends with them if they did you like that?
Because I still get paid. I took care of my business.
I got you.
Business is business.
Yeah.
Everybody need to take care of your business. You know what I mean? So I took care of my business and I got on.
How did you feel when the dominoes start to fall? When Cube left right after you and then Dre left? How did you feel? Did you sound like, I told you so?
Yeah. I mean, I was like, I told him because I remember I had got a check and they were doing a concert, and I still hung out. I went up to the concert, and I had a brand new Porsche. And they was like, "Where'd you get that from?" I'm like, "Y'all need to talk to Jerry." Like, go holler at Jerry. And then Cube left like right after that. So, and then Dre left after that, and then that whole thing kind of, people start figuring out the little money that everybody was getting paid wasn't the real money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one thing you said that you didn't fault Easy for it.
Nah.
But you have to, because one thing that Jerry said and one thing that Easy said in the past, Jerry said, Easy was my guy. I took care of Easy. So Easy, if Easy sees that shit is going on and my boy Arabian Prince leaving, my boy Ice Cube leaving, and they're all pointing to the same person, and he's not doing nothing about that, you have to fault him.
Well, when you knew Easy, it was kind of like this. Hey, man, yo, E, can I get paid? Hey, man, just go talk to Jerry. He'll take care of it. You go talk to Jerry. Hey, Jerry, can I get paid? Oh, man, just go talk to Easy. It was just like that. And you knew Easy didn't know nothing because Easy wasn't a businessman. He was just that hood dude.
But after the album came out and you sold millions of records and that happened, Easy had to know, and you left.
Yeah.
You have to give him some fault because he didn't come back and knock on your door and say, hey, let's make it right.
I gave myself fault because I didn't take care of my business.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I finally
you.
went and took care of my business. I explained it to everybody else. Look, I did this. Go talk to Jerry.
Yeah.
And they didn't do it for a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, eventually people did or people didn't, so, yeah.
And why haven't we heard you guys do music after that? Why didn't you, like you and Cube or you and Dre or you and Easy do music after that?
Personally, me, because I can count real well.
Yeah.
And, as a group, it was cool. But when I went back and did my solo project, I think my album maybe got close to going gold, right? But I had a really good deal with Orpheus EMI, and I made all the money off of that. And then after that, I was like, why did I even do this? Because, I'm kind of known. My name is out there. I'm not like super big, but I started figuring out I was making more money off my Professor X stuff that I was sending to Europe, because it was on independent. I was getting every dime direct to me. I wasn't going through a label. So if I sold 100,000 records, I was making all that money. If it was $10 a record, I'd make $1 million. And I was like, and if I sold 100,000 records on a major, I'm getting dropped. And I'm barely getting $1 a record. So once I figured that out, I'm like, forget this fame stuff, man. I'm just gonna keep just making records, doing this. And I was also, what people don't know is I had tech companies back then too.
Okay.
I was doing video games and special effects. And in the late 80s, early 90s, I was coming up on video games.
So you like you said, you take care of your business.
Yeah, I'm good.
Let's get into some more music. Let's get
sir.
into a couple joints off of NWA. Panic Zone right there. When you hear those old songs you've done, what memory does it bring back?
Man, just like we were talking earlier, just being in the studio, doing them. And for me, I'm a tech person still to this day. I was always that tech head in the studio. When I hear any song that I've done, I'm always reciting back the equipment I use. Like, I remember that's the 808, that's the, Emulator 2, that's the DMX. And that's what I'm thinking about. Like,
That's dope, because you did say that when we listened to you. You was going back and talking about how you and Dre made something to dance to and why you made it. And you said you made it because you needed something to play on radio.
Yeah, because back then, what people don't realize, like today, everything is hardcore gangster. Or cursing. Back then, there wasn't really no cursing on the radio. And we knew that we weren't going to get no radio play, and we refused to do radio versions. So we had to make a song that was radio friendly. That's why even on Easy's album, we did radio. Just one song to be radio friendly so that everybody know you got something coming out.
What made you guys want to do the gangster stuff? Because all you guys came from, you, Dre, Yeller, came from successful situations doing more dancey stuff. And it was kind of the norm at the time. What made you, what was the thing that sparked you guys to go left field and do the gangster stuff when none of you guys are really gangsters besides Easy?
Just growing up in the hood, man, and that struggle with the police and the gangs and everything. And then, like, even though we was doing that, that's what was hot, because that was, the early 80s was all about the punk rock, new wave, electro movement. But then, like, mid to late 80s, that whole gang thing and drug thing and police thing got serious. So, NWA was all about telling stories from the hood, like what's going on in the hood. And that's what, when we was at Easy's house, that's all you saw. So it was like, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
Let's tell these stories.
And you guys sat around and said, we're going to talk about this. This is a kind of a collective thing, or did you guys just go in the studio and it just happened?
It was funny. Like fools be sitting in the studio, man, whatever. Oh, that's a song. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? So-and-so got his ass kicked. That chick cracked Rockberry, whatever. Yeah, that's a song, whatever. Yeah. So that crackhead stole Easy's radio. That's a song. Yeah.
And Easy was reluctant to be an artist at the beginning, right?
He didn't want to do it. He just wanted to put some money up and get some money back. But he had that voice, and we were like, man, you should rap on something. And it took a long time to get him to actually do a verse.
Were you there when he?
Oh, hell yeah. Punch, rewind, punch. But,
So this song that we hear, Boys in the Hood, is the song that he punched, or did you guys punch it? He did it, and then he take it back home and then come back and redo it?
Sometimes we had to redo it a lot, but it was just kind of like he'd do a verse or he'd do a line or even a word. We'd be trying to catch it. Like, no, say it like this. No, it's a little off. Go back. We catch it. And sometimes you'd even cut it. Like, we were really good at cutting tape. Like, we would splice tape. You would look at
what made you guys want to do that? Because even now, like right now, he comes in here, somebody comes in and start rapping. I'm like, yo, and it takes me 10 hours to do a song.
Yeah.
I'm like, F it, let's go find somebody else. What made you guys know that this was the one?
He just had that sound, man, and he had that thing, Easy, and what I tell people this, and this is something that I just give this piece of information to anybody out there trying to do music, right?
Yeah.
A producer especially. One, never fall in love with your music, right? Because anybody tell you they can make a hit record is lying to you, because you can't just sit in the room and say, I'm gonna make a hit record. You don't know. Yeah. But when you hear a hit record, that's when you got a good producer knows when he has a hit record on him, or an artist. And there's so many quirky artists out there, like, you might have somebody like, man, they can't, but they dope. Like, I just got to get it out of them. Yeah. And that's what it was. Easy had something and just had to sit there and get it out of him. And once you did, it was golden.
And looking back on it, was Easy the head to Voltron? Like, you guys are Voltron.
Right.
Was Easy the head?
Yeah, he was kind of like that dude, because he was the one that had that street cred.
Without him, would it have happened?
I don't think we would have gone to that concept without Easy.
Okay.
Now Cube was writing like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was already kind of writing like that, but I think we needed Easy for that credibility side of things. Because I always say, I wouldn't really know gangbanger, man. I was a gangbanger for 2 days. I put on khakis and gangbanging clothes and went to Magic Mountain, hanging out, pretending I was a gangbanger. The next day I was with my cousins in his neighborhood. We got chased by some real gangbangers. My homeboy got knocked out. I'm like, I'm done. I'm gonna go play football. Yeah.
And let's talk legacy now. Do you ever look back and feel I mean, the business aside, I know, but legacy, do you ever look back and feel kind of salty that they don't mention you when they talk about NWA? When they accepted their award for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, you wasn't invited?
Nah, wasn't invited.
But you're on but every time somebody puts a T-shirt on that has the cover on it,
I'm on there.
You're on it.
Yeah.
There's the album that you're on.
Yeah.
The song that you produced sparked the Ruthless movement.
Yeah.
That sold a bunch of records that was able to pay for that record.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel slighted?
Nah, man, I ain't never been that dude, man. Never been that dude.
Really?
Like, I'm all about, I'm an innovator, man. I like to create.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm into the tech space and in the music space and all of that. And I've always just done me. I ain't never been that dude. Oh, man, they kind of, screw me over, man. No, I ain't never been that guy. I take care of me. I take care of my stuff. And I've always done that. And I ain't never been a cat to be like, man, y'all, diss me and all of that. I ain't never been that cat.
Really?
It's on them.
That's admirable.
It's on them, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It ain't never, I'm like, people gonna do what they gonna do, no matter what you do or what you say. And the cool thing is, documentaries come out. People, like, remember I told you at the beginning of this conversation, you ask me a question, I'm gonna give you a real answer.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna come out and just start saying
a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, but if somebody asks me, no matter what they ask me, I'm gonna give you the real answer.
Are you still cool with Dre, Cube, and Yella?
I don't see them cats much. I see Yella a lot. Me and Yella always been tight since day one. Ren, I see him a lot more. But, Yell and Dre, they busy. But if I see him or talk to him, we still cool.
Dope.
Yeah.
And let's continue on the legacy conversation. Easy, hands down, is one of the most legendary music moguls of all time. Being able to see NWA fund that and then do it again with Bone Thugs and Harmony and that whole movement as well too. But he doesn't really get the credit that a Master P or a Puff Daddy gets.
Yeah.
Do you feel like they slight Easy in his legacy?
I don't know. Like the whole Ruthless camp gets slighted a little bit. Like West Coast never really gets that accolade.
That's true.
I think the West Coast has always been more of a laid back kind of town. You know what I'm saying?
Why is that?
I don't. It's just
East Coast bias?
Nah, it's just because West Coast is laid back. We got palm trees and sun. Like fools don't be out there promoting themselves like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Lately, it's changed.
Yes.
Lately it's changed. But back then, you got to think it was so far back in the day, nobody knew what they had until later.
Yeah.
Legacy grew later. And even on the East Coast, if you think about it, New York is a smaller town. They had boroughs.
And they're so close together.
It's so close together.
Yes.
So it was more of a culture. Man, you can live on that side of Compton, and somebody can live on the other side of Compton. You never see them.
Yep.
Compton's big.
Yeah.
LA is even more massive.
Yeah.
And, I think it just because we were so big and so spread out, there was never that same thing.
Do you think the gang situation kind of put wedges in between that actually fusing as well
that too? Because I remember, I can't say I remember when it started because, it's been around forever.
Yeah.
I remember the last time in LA, we was at Uncle Jam's Army Dance, man, at the LA Sports Arena, 10,000 people partying.
Yeah.
And I was sitting up there next to freaking Egyptian Lover. And I saw on this side of the room, you seen all these Crips with blue rags and blue rollers in their head walking on that side. And on the other side, you seen a bunch of dudes with red rags and red rollers. And we just watched them do this. Next thing you know, boom! I'm like, that's the last one we're gonna do with that, and it changed the whole thing, man.
And that right there changed the whole
dynamic.
Music scene.
Yeah, it changed the music scene because there was no more parties like that no more, and everything became more hardcore and gangster.
So everybody stayed on their sides.
There you go.
That's crazy. That's crazy because I look back on it. You're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
It just ended. It was like overnight.
Yeah,
overnight from big parties and people hanging out to just watch your neck.
And during that time, like NWA time, and you guys are really misogynistic.
Yeah.
And why?
That's what was going on in the hood. That was, unfortunately at that time, that was the mentality of the hood. You had the hood rats, you had the strawberries and all of that. And it was just, we were telling stories about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was like, no disrespect.
Did your mom or parents ever say...
I got a story about that one.
Okay.
First time we went to Oakland, we did the Oakland Arena with, I think it was MC Hammer and Too Short, and my mom's just happened to be in Oakland with her, with my stepfather. They was there. Oh, we coming to the concert. I'm like, what? Okay.
She had never heard your music before?
Nope. She knew it was something.
Wait, but she knew you was touring and stuff like that. She never said, hey, let me hear what you're doing?
I never let her hear it.
Really?
And she don't listen to K-Day, So she knew it was like on the edge, but she didn't know it was that bad. And they came to the show, and after the show, everybody knew they was there too. It was like, what are we gonna do? We gotta do the show. Afterwards, I was like, what do you think? She's like, well, the people liked it. I never forget that. Yeah, can y'all tone it down a little bit? I'm like, huh?
That's funny. So after NWA, you went solo, and you actually had a pretty decent solo career as Brother A-Rab.
Yeah, I did some things. Orpheus EMI. I had a follow-up record that I was doing called The Underworld that was like crazy. It never came out because EMI was like, we can't put that out.
And what happened to it?
I still got it. It's funny. Somebody somehow got it. It's on like YouTube.
Is
like
it?
you can go on YouTube.
I'm gonna have to look it up
Underworld,
now. I didn't know that.
And you'll find that it's pretty cool. The beats is dope and the raps is dope. I never put it out, and I'm like, eventually I might drop it. You know what I mean? Like, just to put it out there, and
Let's get into a couple joints. Let's get into She Got a Big Posse.
Oh yeah, we can do that.
White Label Radio, Arabian Prince, Mellow One. Let's go. Never Caught Slip in 1989.
Yes, sir.
Does it seem like that long ago?
Man, I'm old, dude. I be getting the Bengay and the Tiger Bomb. You know, I still be playing basketball, man. So I got to rub it down every day.
You still hoop?
Dude, 3 days. I play in 3 basketball leagues.
I can't no more. I have 3 knee surgeries. So
man.
I coach basketball now.
Okay.
So
Well, maybe. Hey, I'm the old ass Steph Curry. I come out and show you a little kid.
Okay.
Yeah.
You look like Steph Curry a little bit too.
Dude, I shoot like Steph Curry.
Okay, that's what they all say.
I'll take his money.
Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all hear that? So, actually, you know, funny thing about it, Trey D from the East Side say he hooped too.
Oh, really? Okay.
So we might have to set up a classic hip hop hoop battle, huh?
Dude, yeah. As a matter of fact, there's some video of me out there at some of the I did a couple celebrity things, one at Staples Center and one at what was it, Dominguez High School, one of them high schools, and I actually showed off a little
Really?
bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't go to the hole much anymore, but I can shoot threes.
It's a light skin thing, huh?
Yeah, it's a light skin thing. Gotta stay pretty.
So we're now at your solo.
Yep.
When you came out with your solo project, like I Got a Big Posse and Never Caught Slipping, that was critically acclaimed.
Yeah.
But it didn't do the same things that your previous projects. Why not?
Because I wanted to go back and just be me.
Okay.
Because like I said, I was never really no gangbanger or nothing like that.
But during that time, you still had the Raider hat on the look. So
you had
a kind of Jerry curl.
Yeah, I tell people I ain't had no Jerry curl. That was my hair. I just used to put the Stay Soft Fro in there.
Really?
Yeah, I just put the Stay Soft Fro in. I never had no chemicals. It was all juices and berries.
Okay. It's a light skin thing again.
Yeah, man. But you know, you said something about damn, what did you say?
I was talking about the fact that it didn't do as well as the previous.
Yeah, so it's because if I'd have came straight off the NWA joint and just kept doing that, I think it would have been more successful. But I wanted to be more true to what I came from, what I started with, and I wanted to go back to party music. So if you listen to my track, they more like party music.
Yeah.
Ain't really a lot of cussing in it. I was just, because that's who I am. And I've always been that, yeah.
And once it didn't do as well as the previous stuff, did you ever thought about, man, maybe I should go back?
I did. That's what the Underworld thing is. And that's when they dropped me because they didn't want to put that. The record company was like, we can't put this out.
Because it's funny because Dre had a similar situation. You know, after he left Death Row, he tried to do the Been There and Done That Aftermath. And it was more like smooth, laid back. And people wasn't checking for it. And he came back with Chronic 2001 or whatever.
Right.
So you had the same type of
revelation. And for me at that time, I was already making a lot of money in video games and tech and visual effects stuff. That was my new love. So I was just doing music just because. It wasn't like I didn't have that hunger anymore because if I'm making money on video games, I'm like, this is cool.
Like whatever, music's a hobby now.
Yeah, I still do it. I still produce. I was still DJing and touring around the world, but that video game and that technology money, man, make you change real quick.
Yeah.
And
I noticed that you didn't do the gangster rap stuff, but you still kept it kind of raunchy.
Yeah. I'm that Prince dude. I love Prince and women and sex and that whole thing.
That was your original name, Prince. You was DJ Prince.
I was DJ Prince, and some girl, when I was with Egypt at a roller skating rink, came up to us and was like, what's your name? And he was like, Egyptian Lover. He's like, what's your name? I'm like, DJ Prince. And she said, you should call yourself Arabian Prince because y'all always do stuff together. And I'm like, that's cool. All right.
Did you know the girl?
I ain't never seen her again.
Wow. Just imagine she's sitting at home like she actually sparked your name. And
she probably don't even know she did it.
Don't even know. Just said some shit, huh?
Yeah.
Why didn't we ever hear you and Egypt do like a collaboration album?
Dude, we never, you know what? Last year, we finally did a record together.
Really?
Yep.
All this time?
On his I think he's in 1984, 1985 now, because he's been putting out these new albums like 1983, 1984.
I think I have 1984. You on that one?
I think it's on that one.
Mine's a sealed in plastic.
It's actually me and him, first time ever on a track together.
What took so long? Why?
Just because we just been busy doing our own thing. And also, too, you got to think about this, and this is something I always mention. Back in the day, there was no collabos.
You're right.
Everybody was just checking for themselves.
Your own crew.
Your own crew. You did your own thing. It wasn't no guest appearances.
Yeah.
Now,
and if it was it was in your clique. So like when you seen like Grand Finale, it was all
Right.
Ruthless record people. It wasn't a guy from Texas or whatever. It's all your clique.
Yeah, and now it's all that. So
everything's a collaboration.
Yeah, we work together. Like I worked on Dream Team stuff. I sat in the studio with Egypt from time to time, and we kind of collaborated and worked. I worked with Dre on a lot of stuff.
And you guys are kind of, I wouldn't say the same, but similar because he's real techie as far as the whole. His technical style is more like yours as well too when it comes to music. So I think that'd be a perfect combination. So we should definitely, before you guys, kick the bucket.
Before we kick the bucket.
Yeah, we should get a whole,
We're going to do some more because that one song we did, it's pretty damn dope. It's a dope track. I'm going to see if I can remember what the name of it is.
I'm going to have to look it up.
Yeah.
Let's get into another joint that is a little raunchy.
Okay.
Came out in 1993.
Yep.
Gotta Get the Pussy Quick.
Oh, yeah. See, that's off that. Is that off the Underworld? That's off the Underworld joint.
Is it? I was searching. I found it. I didn't.
That's what I'm saying. They're out there.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it say Underworld though.
It was just out there.
It was out there.
Yeah.
That's okay. So there you go. I gravitated towards this one. So
yeah, and there's something you might have to play before the intro to that album. Is I have to find it for you.
Okay. Let's get into it and then we'll come back into it. White Label Radio. Let's go, man.